Hello, hi, welcome back to another video. Today I'm showing you some special things that I've learned almost over 700 hours playing Valheim, and hopefully you guys enjoy. And if you can, please hit that like, subscribe. It means the world, and especially if you can leave a comment. But today I will be talking about some tips that I've learned in these almost 700 hours playing this game, and hopefully it helps you guys, especially the new beginners that are starting off in 2025. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's just jump into the video, all right? All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we start our Valheim adventures, I'm assuming all of you already started and you're familiar with the starting point where you're at, and this is where you basically start all the time. You're going to see this little ritual place, whatever you want to call it here. So, like I said, I'm assuming you guys already have knowledge of how to start crafting and everything, but today's assignment is I'm going to start showing you the tips and tricks I have learned through all these hours of playing this game. So, and the first thing is first, I'm the realist. But no, first things first, you do need a hammer. Hammer, 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 hammer. And second things is find a place where you want to build your base. It doesn't have to be too big. It can be just something for a start. For instance, I just built here this in creative because this is my portal. If for friends or anybody joins that wants to travel to my base or whatnot. So you really see I haven't gone too far from my starting point, but I did find this amazing land where I build my current base. So, it's up to you to find where you like it, where you want to build your base and all that. Like I said, for beginners, don't worry about too much where you're placing your first base, unless if you're doing creative, you want to go all out. Where most all of us mess up at the beginning when building a base, especially when it comes to stone. This goes for all, even with wood, this happens. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, I have ran around and found a decent place for a decent house. Now, the reason why I chose to be close to the water because food-wise, animal-wise, and you can basically have a raft or a boat and travel to other places. So now, as you can tell, I travel from starting point to over here, and I already unlocked some of the map, as you can tell, but not all of it. So I want to start here, right? And first things first, again, before you start building anything, I always like to level my ground because that actually tells where your base is going to be and helps out. Just want to go much as you want or however long of a base you want. You can always extend this, keep in mind. So it never runs out. But I like to just, start off level and everything. You can also raise the ground, pattern, and also pave the road, which is really cool. All right, so since I have this right here, after that, you want to take out your hammer, and we're not going to do wood, but I will start with stone because stone is the next important thing when you actually start building a bigger base. Now, a lot of people do have wooden, base and all that. That's cool, but I like building extra stuff. So if you like building extra stuff, this video is perfect. Before we place anything, you do want to put down a workbench, and a workbench is under crafting. It's all doing the far right, and this will give you a circle. As you can tell on top, it goes from white to red, and the red is where you can't place it, and the white, of course, is. So that's my whole area right there. Now I can move it and I can add on extras around this circle so I can expand my base. Now, for reason doing this, you have to do this first because then you can't start building. And for you to start building, you have to have a workbench down, and on top of that, you have to cover the workbench. So I just like to do a little fast thing real quick just to cover it, nothing too crazy. Um, some basic, so you can at least start building. I go 2 layers up, just to give me more room. Now, after this, you can delete this if you want. Now, putting up the ceiling, you don't want to just do that because you still can't use your workbench. You need a roof. So to finish building your roof, what I like to do is basically just take the regular roof ridge, you know. Might have to build some stairs to get up there, or depending how far you go up. But yeah, this will help you. You can move it around, especially if you have OCD like me. I like to go all in one direction. And now, since you have the roof, you can use your workbench. There you go. Unless if you're in creative, then you know you can just type in dev commands and it'll activate your cheats. And then you type in debug mode, and that will basically put you in creative, and you can you know, activate it, and you won't need no building materials. But you know, that's if you want to experiment with all the builds like I am doing right now and see what you like the most. So if you don't have that on, now you can repair your items, you can craft, and you can upgrade everything. So this is where the fun starts. Now, before we start, remember you can always erase this and move it after you're done. But before you erase it, you always want to put one down before you do it. So what I like to do, I like to start off with basically putting down foundation. Through this, you know, you get to see how far you want to build your base and the crazy stuff. Because remember, you can't build if you don't have a foundation. Whenever you're building your base, you always want to go an extra box over or block over because remember, you will have to put down walls or foundation, walls and all that. So depending whatever you're doing. Whatever you're doing, make sure you follow this first rule when it comes to building. So a lot of people when at the beginning, I know myself, we would just do this, build a base. Like, oh my God, why is it not going inside? Like, I messed up here. I might need an extra one more, you know, and so you go over here, try to make one more, and now we can start. See, now everything, each one of them, again, you see that? You run into the same problem. Now this is a corner problem, so that's okay, we'll take care of that. This is why I'm making this video. So you guys see. Okay, we're starting off, we're stacking, right? You know, for everybody, like, hey, you know, I want my base to be taller, so I'm gonna start stacking here, you know, and then put down ceiling. This is actually the wrong way to build. Yeah, I know it looks cool, like, you know, you aligned everything, blah, 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 but you have no stability here, especially when it comes to building bigger bases. So what I'm going to do now is show you the right way, because right here is where you figure out the right way when you start in the corners, right? See that? Like, oh, but it's over one, you know, it's going over. That's the perfect idea. So same like you wanted everything right here to be aligned, and here it's not. This is the way you want it to start building. This is the actual right way. You do not want to be aligned with the lines, but you want be like this. So off. For instance, we're going to start off in this corner. You see how I did this? It's not even, like some of you may think, but this is actually the right first way to start building your base, you know? Because right now, my foundation is not even with my builds, so that gives it more stability with my walls. And my walls are now not even with the bottom, which even gives it more stability when you put it in the middle, because that way you can put two instead of one. And even guys who do brickwork will tell you this is the right way to build anything you're building. So that's one of the things that you're going to have to learn. And helps out a lot, to be honest with you. A lot, especially if you want to make a gigantic base. So for right now, I'm just going to cover this and I'm going to show you guys the next thing that I wanted to show you. And make sure you just follow that pattern. You know, sometimes you will have to put one inside another, but just make sure, like right here, make sure it's not even with the bottom. Never want it to be even with the bottom. Or the one that's, you know, on top already. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna leave my entrance there. I'm gonna delete these because you know we don't need that now. You guys get the point. Sometimes you're gonna run into this issue like what am I supposed to do here? You know, if I place one and it's gonna be even with the bottom, what I would do is just turn it around and just push push it in like that, and just oops, and then just start stacking them. And right here, when it comes to building your door, depending how big of a door you want, you can leave one block or two if you want, whatever you like. But for me, since I like to go extra, right here you can actually get away with these one stones. Now, some doors will be larger and bigger than others, so you gotta look out what you want. So for me to place a regular door, you know, I would have to fulfill in more space. As you can tell, it's open. Now, if I have a door that's double, I can get away with that. You see that? That's another thing. And your foundation down here is a little bit higher. That's a good thing because you can always fix that. You can also go to build and you can pick, you know, wooden stairs if you don't have stone, or if you have stone, you can go to stone and place basically some cool stairs. You have stairs now. So that's another thing. Next tip we're gonna go is trying to show you guys about securing your base and making everything better. So let me finish this off real quick. Yes, I can fly. I am him. I am aware of that. Now, I like my bases to have more space, the wider and the more you can put in. Of course, you can break some of this down and you know, restart. You know, keep in mind, don't forget about your workbench over here. Make sure you build enough space where you can put another workbench in here, but that's, you know, up to you guys. Now I can destroy some of this wall and connect this and build around and then put the workbench on top of the foundation or whatever you want, you know. You gotta finish doing the top here, show you guys some cool ceiling tricks and more foundation support. This is a problem we just ran into. You see how I placed that one, which is good, and then we go to this corner one. I tried to place it, and it's even with that one. No bueno, no bueno. So what we're gonna do is delete that, place that one there, and then go from there. So one thing you gotta watch out for whenever you're building, this is another tip, when building next to water is the weather. You will always have rain, you will always have fog. But one thing, if you build enough cool deck, you can have free food for life. Fish will just start coming up here. So that's another cooler thing. Alright, I'm gonna add one more layer up here, and then I'll show you guys the rest. Now, for the door, like I was saying, you can cover it, you know. You see that? See that what that happens? If you're not quick enough, it'll break. And now it's yellow. That's because you don't have enough support. And you might be wondering, how do you do the support? So that's pretty easy. This is another thing where you guys are gonna have to learn to put support beams. Doesn't matter if it's wood, steel, or stone, whatever, but you will have to start putting these. For instance, you know, let's say it's front entrance. So I just do two of them right there. See that? Simple as that. From the outside to the inside. I'm going to show you a few different things you can go about putting more support. Before you start building roof, you should always put support so you don't run into problems like I have in the past. So you have plenty of options where you can start doing this. As you can see this 2 meter pole right here. This is perfect example. Now you can push it inside You can have it, like I said, go inside the stone. You can have it come out. You know, if you want some room to give it a little texture. You also can take these support beams and put them in a corner or put them from the top as well. Do the support for the top. You know, this way you can put foundation on top, whatever you're making. We're gonna start off simple, and then we'll work our way around. So the simple is basically with this wood. Now, wood can come in handy. A lot of things, like I said, you know, you can start building and gives you more support for your base. Now, all of it won't be even, but you know, I usually try to go like two like this because my OCD, right? And that. So from there, you can actually take some more wood and start moving around this way, give it better stability. Now you will have to go, if you're going one corner to another, make sure you connect them. And you can take the longer wood beams if you have them, or depending what you're using, and start doing this. Nope, I don't want that. I want it on top of that one. I want it to be even. And now, if you want to close them, you just start going on the sides, right? Now, this is going to help out a lot, when, especially when building your base. You can do it like that, right? And then you can start basically putting down foundation, which is, you know, the roof, whatever you want to start with. It will be more stable for you. Of course, since I'm building a stone base, I want to keep everything stone. But remember, just because you're doing this doesn't mean this will be enough. Now you also need to add bottom. You see how this is becoming red? So sometimes if that's becoming red, that means you need more support. So I take more support beams, depending what you want to use. Since I like this dark wood beam, this is what I usually go with. So we're going to start off with the smaller one, connect that, and then we're going to take the longer one and start going like that. Yeah. You always want to try to extend it. Sometimes it doesn't want to go in, and then sometimes it'll just go inside the other one. So you gotta be very careful with it, the way you move it around. So I'm just gonna take another smaller one and build this the safe way. See that, how it doesn't want to connect sometimes? There you go. Now you did it one way, but do it another way. This will actually help out a lot. It might be still sometimes in red, but this is why, if you don't want to do too much of that, you can do the next step. Next step is building pillars, like I said before. I like to build stone pillars because, you know, it makes it look nicer. For instance, let's say I want an entrance. So I'm going to put a stone pillar here and there, and it's going to help out. Now, sometimes this stuff will be still red at the beginning, but don't worry about it. As long as you're building, for building stone, of course, you're gonna need, you know, one of the important things, which is a stone cutter. This thing can be obtained. It's gonna take you a little bit longer to get, but it'll be definitely worth it, and gives you same like a workbench, you know, a radius where you can work around. Keep in mind with that when you're building stone. And it also has to be covered. It's not going to let you use it if it's not covered. So you always want to keep all your stuff covered, and that way you can use it. So that's one way of securing it. The next way is going crazy. Basically, like I said, from over here. The next cool thing I like to do is basically with these pillars, like I said, you can do some crazy things. A cool little trick. You see how I'm placing it right there in a corner? I place one more in a corner. I can now take my building foundation or roof and place it. So now, like for smaller corners like that, if you want to put that in, that is an amazing, amazing idea. It gives you more space, cooler base. So what I'm gonna do here is just gonna place maybe like 3 of them right there. Perfect. Now go back to my build. There you go. So without doing all that, you can go do this. You see how it's yellow and green. Now everything is becoming, remember before it was red, now it's becoming more green. That's because everything is not closed yet, so that's why it's changing colors. But once you do everything the right way, you won't have a problem. Now let me show you if I try to build without foundation. See that? Starts breaking right away. So you would just want to go around first if you can. Never start in the middle because middle is the weakest spot. You always want to go around. You know, there will be times where some of this stuff will end up being green, orange, like this, it's green, and sometimes it changes. Keep in mind, if you don't, you know, put sport beans, look, it's already turned red. It will start destroying itself. Or another thing, like I said, you can take these, and from here, you don't have to go all the way to the wall, but you can take them from there and just connect them across. But make sure when you're doing this, don't leave open space. Make sure you connect it all the way to the wall. Come over here to this side, and same thing I did over there, I'll do here. You know, it's becoming more greenish yellow, which is working because that's stable. The middle right here. So if you have big enough base, you can put more pillars here. If this doesn't solve some of the issues, that means you do need support beams. You see when I connect this one, it goes over across that one. That's another thing you want to keep an eye out on. And just make sure you close it off at the end. Be secure to everything, right? Almost everything is almost done, but not really. Because you still have open space somewhere. So I go back here, check everything, and make sure everything is connected. And then I can figure out where my problem is. And my problem usually is the pillar. It's not working. Okay, so that's not working. So what we can do, another thing is, this is why it's important to have long enough base. So you want to place that, let that sit on top, and there you go. Remember, like I said, you might want to open some windows, especially if you're crafting, but once you finish everything, you can go back just to however you want, especially for windows and all that. You can do your own crazy designs, you can go all out, you can destroy a few of them and put some like this, you know, make it look cool. You know, little archway right there, and it connects to the wood, makes it, you know, makes it look nice. You know, so there's a lot of cool things you can do here, and remember, just don't be scared to try new things. What I don't like when this is like this, I usually take at the bottom right here, if I have a pillar, I like to connect this because you know it makes it look nicer. You see how everything was red? Solved, solved. So sometimes you won't even need a pillar. Sometimes you just might have to just put a roof over your base and end it like that, you know, if you don't want that. So if you're having that last option where everything is happening like that, just cover it. And that should usually solve your biggest issue. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have, please hit that like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if I've missed anything, if some of you have some extra tips for me as well. But this is our stone base that we're building. If you want a tutorial of a regular base, let me know. I'll be more than happy to do that for you guys. For the most part, like I said, we are done. Thank you all so much for watching. God bless you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.